it's Leela, the proud Pauli Kinky queer slut. Today's question is, who is Pauli Murray? So, the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray was a leader in the civil rights movement. I have been researching queer history because I've realized that I have a lack of my own knowledge of my own history. And this individual stands out to me as the number one person overlooked in our history classes, and really somebody that we all should be learning about as a household name, and yet we are not. So, the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray was a civil rights activist. She was on the committee on, I'm going to read this. Pauli Murray was on the Committee on Civil and Political Rights as part of JFK's Presidential Commission on the Status of Women, and was a contemporary of Bayard Rustin, of Martin Luther King, very, very critical in the civil rights movement. So critical that she literally wrote the book. So, States Laws on Race and Color was a book that was written by the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray, that was a book that was a compendium of all the Jim Crow laws and all of the other laws that were anti-civil liberties that the various 50 states had. And it was all the states and all those laws that needed to be overturned. Literally, that book that was the guiding book for the civil rights movement as we know it was written by Pauli Murray. She was a reverend. She was brilliant as a lawyer, one of those people who had just a sparkling life in terms of intellect, in terms of engagement. Dr. Murray was one of the founders of the National Organization of Women. Later moved out of leadership in that organization because it wasn't focused enough on the needs of working class Black women. There are so many things. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. But in addition to all of these amazing accomplishments, in addition to being one of the role models for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Pauli Murray was also genderqueer and had at least 2 romantic relationships with women in her lifetime that we know about. And I'm going to find this quote as well because I really appreciate it. So while Pauli Murray did not have the language that we do today of queerness, Murray self-described as a he-she personality, and at many points talked at length about being in this in-between space, being man, woman, woman, man, and we don't know what pronouns Murray would have chosen. We don't know what the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray would have chosen to call themselves now. But during their life, they used she, her pronouns, and but expressed very vocally this feeling of being somewhat in the middle. And I really appreciate that. And now what you can find out there, if you go looking for it, is just, information about them as an early to our modern sensibilities. Proponent of just taking people as people and moving from there. So I really appreciate this human, and I really think that the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray is someone that I would like to see added to curriculums and added to the conversation. We talk about Bayard Rustin getting erased and because of his queerness, and that is true. But Pauli Murray was just as big, if not, I mean, I'm not going to compare too much, but in the same way, a very important figure that just gets swept under the rug. And I'd like to see the change to that. So anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate you listening. And I'm Leela, the proud Pauli Kinky queer slut. Remember, you can ask me anything. Have a great day.